Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you all had a pleasant weekend and that your week is off to a good start. Only 1 week till probably when you're watching this, unless you're watching it at night, 1 week till Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas. So this might be a little bit of a short week for some people, but for a lot of people it's probably going to be a hectic, crazy week. For me, it's just going to pretty much be another normal week. Go to the gym, get some work done, eat some raw food, do the same old, same old. Anyhow, I wanted to start the week out today talking about 5 raw food diet tips for beginners. I do videos every day, so if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. Yeah, just been a nice quiet weekend here. I tell you, it's like it's like something's building inside of me. I'm still content to be here. I'm happy to be here, get to see my mom. We're hanging out for the holidays. But I've been here 5 months now and I'm getting kind of antsy. I'm starting to like linger a little bit more online. I find myself drifting off to another site on Costa Rica, possibly looking at some rentals. I saw some really good rentals down there today. And I'm just continuing to make my plans on that. One possible change, I might push it a little bit and go back to Costa Rica in March instead of February, simply because it'll be a little bit closer to the end of high season. And also I started doing the math and I want to be down in Costa Rica in Latin America for World Cup next year. So anyhow, enough with that. Let's get to it. One of the first tips I like to talk about when coming to this lifestyle is, well, first of all, take a step back, take a deep breath, and get yourself organized. And realize you're not going to do it overnight. There'll be a few that'll tell you, yeah, I did it overnight, but honestly, the people that try to tell you you can do this overnight are probably not doing a service to people out there. While it is possible, that's not in the odds. And you know, if you've watched my video, you've probably heard me talk, I live by the odds. Some people can do it. Hell, some people win the lottery, but I don't buy lotto tickets in general unless I'm just goofing around. So the biggest thing is don't take off too much. Don't bite off too much too soon. Trying to be all bold, and that's ego jumping in, like I can go raw vegan overnight. And sometimes it's not ego, it's just more excitement. People find out about this lifestyle, maybe they join a couple of groups, they watch a couple of videos, they see all the excitement, they see what some of the results people are getting, and they just get a little overexcited and they want it really quickly. Well, that's what we want in this society. We live in that society where we want it now. No, I don't want to wait. I don't want to put the time in. I don't want to work for it. I want it now. So, you know, don't try to take off too much too soon. I would say I kind of like the elimination process on this diet. Just dropping things bit by bit by bit. I'm all about moving constantly forward. I'd prefer to see people just like a snail, like moving just a milli-inch a day, than all this back and forth, back and forth. Hey man, I'm on a 10-day grape fast and I'm doing this and that and I did blah, blah, blah. And then I followed it up with 30 days. Then you don't hear from them for a while. And then they come back with some tale of woe, like, oh my God, I fell off and I've been doing this and I've been doing that. And I'm like, yeah, you were the one preaching this hardcore message of, hey, you got to do this and you got to do that. So just, you know, eliminate. Set yourself out a plan and eliminate. I always kind of like this idea, like let's say, whatever, you were trying to start a running program or whatever. You just go a little further each day. Maybe you walk to the end of your driveway today. That is nothing. If you're even a remotely healthy human being, that's nothing to walk to the end of your driveway. You walk to the end of your driveway. The next day you walk to the end of your driveway, you take a right, and you go about 100 yards that way. The next day you go another 100 yards. By building little by little by little, you know, eventually you're up to going 3 or 4 miles, and you've done it in such increments that you don't even, there was never like this big stress, like, oh my God, I've got to go out today and go 3 miles. You built up to that. You did it little by little. So eliminate, set yourself up a plan. Have a plan of how you're going to proceed on this. Don't just like be out there just like, okay, what's happening now? What am I going to eat? What am I going to eat this week? How's this going to play out? Although intuition, instinct will play a part in that, and as you do this for longer, your body will kind of tell you these things like, okay, well, I feel like this just isn't good anymore. The first thing I would say eliminate is the animal products. There's different thoughts to this, and I'm never going to be one to say there is one true path or this that I'm talking about is the only way to get there. I'm just kind of trying to throw other versions out there, things that have worked for me, thought processes that have worked for me. But I think people have the most, if there are addictions, they have their most addictions to animal products. So I would say get those animal products cut out of your diet as quickly as possible. But make that the priority. In fact, make it so much the priority that in the very beginning, I'm not talking about long term, but in the beginning, just focus on getting the animal products out. I wouldn't even focus on, okay, well, I'm using this, or maybe you're still using oil. Maybe you're still putting some salt on things. That first stage is only about getting rid of the animal products. Now, I've said many, many, many times, I think with just a little thought put into it, you could go, while I say don't try to go raw vegan overnight for the average person could get rid of all the animal products overnight. It's just a matter of, you know, filling in with other foods. Which brings me to the next one. After you got the animal products out of your diet and you're solid on that, you're solid, not where you're like, you know, once a week you're almost falling, or maybe you've just had one. When you have been off the animal products, I don't know, a good solid 30 days or whatever, and you feel like you're comfortable, then start getting rid of that processed food. Get rid of that processed food. That processed food is horrid. Now, I'm not, once again, I don't preach an extreme message here. I'm not saying anything that comes in a package, a box that has ingredients in it, you're going to get rid of it. You know, you live your life, there's reality out there. You know, you probably live a busy life. You may live in a city. You might work 40 hours a week. You take your kids to work. You do whatever. So yes, you're going to have to buy some stuff in a store. You're not going to be able to completely just buy fruits and vegetables. Probably. There might be some people that live in locations that will afford them the luxury of doing this, but get rid of the animal products first. Then work on the processed food. Get those processed foods out, and I include oil in there. Some people don't like to hear that, and hey, if you're going to eat it, don't get mad about it. Just eat your oil. Don't get mad. You don't have to be validated by me, but to me, oil is a processed food as well. It's 100% fat. So start working on getting the highly processed foods out of there. Definitely get rid of the foods that have like 15, 20 ingredients with 3/4 of them that you can't even pronounce. Let's see, what's next? Okay, as you've gotten rid of those, gradually, once again, increase the amounts of raw living foods that you're having in your day-to-day. This kind of mixes in, overlaps with the video I've done about, you know, like going raw till noon, then going raw till dinner, and then, you know, going raw, fully raw 3 days a week, fully raw 5 days a week, fully raw 7 days a week. Not saying you have to necessarily work my exact progression, but just do that. You know, and that one you can even do too while you're cutting out the animal products. That one is not, you can be adding more fresh fruits and vegetables in there, but just work on that. You're working on decreasing what's not good in your life, in your eating, and now you start working on what is good. And you can do it. Hey, maybe that method I just talked about, that I've talked about in other videos, isn't your way of doing it. That's okay. Develop your own way. Develop your own way. That'll work better. You doing your way will work 10 times better ever than you doing my way if it's not comfortable to you. So just start increasing and eating more real food. That's really what it is. It's not so much eating more raw living food or this or that. Just start eating food. A lot of people out there that will watch this coming from the standard American diet probably haven't eaten a lot of food in a long time. I know that I lived on not eating food for quite a while. Blah, blah, blah. What else? Got some notes down here. Oh, you have to eat big. that is going to be something, I think we just got to keep pumping that message over and over and over, because it's the reason you have to pump that message over and over is it's counterintuitive to most people, whether people are trying to lose weight or whether they're trying to you know, reverse some health condition or just change their lives. We've always kind of been on, you know, on the standard American diet. Every time we tried, or I tried to get healthy, it was always about cutting back. In fact, for me, it was always about trying to get by on as little as possible without being ridiculous. I never cut down. I wasn't doing like, you know, below 1,000 calorie diets or anything. Well, not most of the time, but it was always like, okay, let's see if I can probably, you know, if I get busy in the morning, I can make it to lunch without even eating breakfast, and then I've got a nice deficit going there. So if I do that and then I eat fairly healthy at lunch, got a good deficit going, then I can overdo a little bit at dinner, which usually meant overdoing with less than quality food or less than real food, as we would say. So you have got to eat big on this lifestyle. That is going to help so much. Everybody, it seems like to me that everybody that just over and over, and you kind of keep saying, well, I've given you 500 tips. Can't you take one of them? The people that are not able to do this, that just keep falling and stumbling and stumbling and falling and, oh my gosh, what am I doing? They're not eating. You'll see them post something in a group and they ate like, they're proud because they made a smoothie with a banana, maybe a few berries in there and a handful of spinach. That's not going to keep anybody satisfied more than about 12 minutes. You've got to eat on this lifestyle, or you're just not going. You're not going to make it. You're definitely not going to thrive, and you're probably not going to survive. So, anyhow, like I said, those are just a few beginner tips. I probably have shared all of them before in some way or another, but there you have it. Anyhow. One thing I wanted to mention, I was rattling my brain for the last thing. One thing I wanted to mention, and I know we're a little bit late into the holiday process, you still have time. You haven't done, you know, there's still 2 weeks. We got 1 week until Christmas, which means 2 weeks until New Year's. Most people just kind of just throw their hands up in the air and just let it all hang out this time of year. They like, okay, I've screwed up 2017. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. Now I'm just going to pack it all in for the next 2 weeks, and kind of a mentality. Now, I used to have this with different things, drinking, smoking, whatever. I'm just going to go out with a bang. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to eat things that I shouldn't eat for the next 2 weeks, and then I'll get on it January 1st. I'll tell you right now, mark my words right now, if you do that, you're going to be sorry. And you'll be talking about how you were sorry. Oh, I wish I hadn't done that those last 2 weeks. But anyhow, just a little bonus tip there. Hope you guys enjoyed this message today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up down there. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace. And vegan for life.